Hey everyone, Jonathan here. Just wanted to come on and share some interesting information, some details for those who might be interested or feel led to check it out. There have been some really interesting synchronicities and dreams happening that I've been documenting on my blog recently. And they're absolutely huge and amazing, and I would highly recommend people, if you want, to check them out. Don't have to, of course. And some of the really big things recently, especially since the meditation that we had this last December, some kind of higher source, the source, higher self, is now communicating to me in advance about solar activity before it happens. So it's like a regular thing now. And they're telling me about C-class flares and M-class flares and X-class flares too. Just in the last month, they had me. So what they'll do is, and this sounds crazy, I know exactly how this sounds. And it's kind of hard to explain and put it into words because I don't really talk about it that much. I usually just, it's just a quiet thing and I just kind of keep it to myself. But I'll feel an energy in my body, and then I'll know that they, whoever they is, wants to communicate. And so I'll let them use my eyes. They'll also use telepathy too. Just a couple of methods of communication that they use to communicate messages. And they communicated that an X-class solar flare was going to happen. And so I'm like, oh yeah, right. So I wrote it down anyways, leap of faith. And I published it on my blog, also another leap of faith. Because I don't know if these things are ever going to happen when I write them down. And then 7 days later, we had an X-class solar flare. It was so amazing. I documented that, and it's on my blog. You can check it out if you want. I'll put a link to that in the description. And so now they're doing, there's been some really interesting things, especially in the last several months. There was a possible ascended master communication where one night before I went to bed, I got telepathically Hilarion, which is an ascended master. There's been I've had dreams about there's been a possible mass arrest dream, and I say possible because that it seemed like it might be like that, but I'm not 100% sure. I got a number in the dream. I got a number of arrests. It was 18,000 something. And in the same dream, there was a bunch of details, something about Al Capone, and then something about 88 years. That was important, 88 years. So I wrote that down. And then a few days later, or however many days later, it was announced in the mainstream media that a Senator, Orrin Hatch, had died at 88 years old. So I thought that was interesting. And I thought, the other parts of the dream didn't really seem to make a lot of sense, but my theory is that because that part of the dream seemed to come true, then maybe that's saying that the other part of the dream is going to come true. The mass arrests, the 18,000 arrests. I mean, that's a lot of arrests. So, and again, no guarantees. That's just my interpretation of it. It didn't say there's going to be 18,000 arrests. It's called mass arrests. It didn't happen like that. So, but there's a lot of interesting things happening as far as them communicating information in dreams and synchronicities as well. They've been communicating whatever the source is, whatever this information is coming in from, it has an overview of world events, and it knows where all the cabal people are. It seems to know, of course, about solar activity before it happens, because they're telling me that, and I'm documenting it. And it keeps coming true over and over again. It's really amazing. It doesn't matter. Recently, I haven't included this in a blog post yet, but recently I telepathically got C-class solar flare, a big one. And so I let them use my eyes, and I typed it out in my email, and I sent it to an email to myself to document it. And then not that long later, some hours later, we had a big C-class solar flare, and it was the biggest one that had happened in the last day or so. They're communicating accurate information, and it sounds unbelievable, but this is actually real, and I'm documenting this, and I'm kind of amazed as I'm kind of an observer myself, a skeptical observer myself, because I I just couldn't believe, with the XClass solar flare, I just couldn't believe that you could communicate something like that so far in advance. Because they communicated an XClass solar flare to me 7 days in advance. So I thought that was amazing. I don't want this video to go on too long, but the other thing too is they're also letting me know in advance almost every new Cobra post. So that's 2012 portal.blogspot.com. They're regularly communicating those posts to me before they happen. Not every single one, but a lot of them. And so I think that's emphasizing the importance of staying aware of what's being posted there and to take the information seriously, and to follow the advice and guidance shared there. That would be most wise. So I don't want this video to go on too long, but if anybody feels guided to check all that stuff out, that would be super great. If you want, I'll put the links in the description, and if anyone feels guided to share a donation, that would also be more than welcome. Anything that anybody would share, not a requirement, no obligation, just only if you want. So thanks for checking this out, and I wish everyone much love and light, and please take care of yourselves and know that you are not alone, and that you're being watched over, and the source is real, Ascended Masters are real, your guides are real, you're not, you haven't been forgotten about, and you won't slip through the cracks if that happens to be something that you're worried about. Everybody's accounted for. Every molecule of everybody's being is accounted for here. So if you needed to hear that, then there you go. But thank you for checking this out, and I wish you all much love and light. Thanks. Bye.